Hello again and welcome back. Just a brief catch up on Saturday. We went shopping yesterday in Stockport, and yes, more books were bought. As I've said before, they just kind of fall into my hands wherever I go. Stockport's quite nice to go around these days. There's vintage shops and bookshops and curious shops and a market where we had lunch. Oh, I look tired. Anyway, I thought I'd talk through some of the books that I ended up with. I didn't spend a fortune, it was about £5 in all, but there's still a bit of a pile there. And somewhere downstairs, there's the China clown that I bought, that I love. A weird pearlescent China clown, incredibly creepy, holding a guitar. I should include a picture of it for you. I keep ending up with these strange, strange little ornaments, bits of kitsch. Now, the first thing I found was, as if I need it, an edition of Sherlock Holmes, the kind of best of Holmes. It's somebody's selection of their favourites. And it's quite a good selection. But the point of this book is that it's illustrated by Sophia Martinek rather nicely. The illustrations remind me of something, and I can't think what it is. Maybe there's a touch of gory about them. That might be true. Look at those branches at the top and the moonlight. Maybe it is. There's a view of the ensuite there. You don't want that. Oh, it's quite hard. For some reason, I'm holding up my camera and not using a tripod. It's impossible to show you how nice this is in this way with one hand. But anyway, it's a very nice selection. I'll try and find you something with a spooky illustration. I just think it's a nice way of kind of revisiting these tales. Maybe that's the thing for the autumn, a little Sherlock reread. It's quite a long time since I read any Sherlock. I've still got one of Stuart's books to read, my friend Stuart Douglas, who writes Sherlock Holmes novels. I've got one of his to read still. And somewhere I've got my Holmes for the Holidays Christmas Sherlock Holmes book, which I've still not read. Right, then there was, is it the Lighthouse, a massive charity shop next door to Waterstones, and I avoided going into Waterstones. I looked in their window and just saw the same old books, same old things promoted everywhere. Waterstones does really feel like somewhere that I don't bother with now. Anyway, the next door is this massive charity shop, 3 books for 50p, and of course I end up with a clutch of Nancy's, like I did last time from there. I don't know where they're unearthing all these Nancy Drews from, but I'm really glad they are. It's the kind of charity shop where you have to kind of slightly clean up the books afterwards, but that's kind of fun in itself. It's what we use hand sanitizer for now, cleaning paperbacks. This is number 35, the witch tree symbol, and what I did was, I think I even left a couple behind. I didn't buy them all, but I bought the spooky looking ones. I think that's got to be held over for my Halloween heap. This year's Halloween heap, which I've already started building, as I said the other day. Now, the clue of the leaning chimney, number 21, has a bat, so I assume that's, yes, and it mentions hooded figures and flowing robes. I don't know when these are from, really. These are 70s, but republished in what looks like the 80s. And also with those, because it was, I think it was 4 for, oh, anyway, a kind of slightly random 90s science fiction novel, which is a bit, from reading the first chapter this morning, dipping into it, it's a bit X-Filesy, but very gory. Very brutal. Daniel Ransom, The Fugitive Stars, published by Tor. The kind of thing which wouldn't have leapt out at me back in the day, but now they just seem so period and so schlocky that they're irresistible. Then in a shop where it was 3 for £1, which is ludicrous, the new Ashley Poston turned up. This is kind of out last year, I think. I'm still one behind with her. I read her trilogy about they were themed around fairy tales, but they were based around a science fiction TV show, Fandom, and I forget what that series is called, but I loved them. They faded off a bit towards the end, I think. You could see her wanting to go on and do other things, and so she's gone into kind of mass market romance, and she reminds me a bit of a kind of Julie Cohen, really, when she was doing these kinds of books. So I'm building a pile of Ashley Poston. And then Richard Adams and Mark Hooper in the 70s. This lovely book about nature. I love books about nature and animals and wildlife. It's something I was obsessed with as a kid. Where I lived in Aycliffe, it was a new town, but it had the Burn, which was this mile-long woodland right through the middle of the town, a little stream, and acres of woods and hills and dells and lots of wildlife, and we played out there constantly. When I went back about 10 years ago, I found that the whole thing had overgrown. All the wending paths that the kids had made for decades, for generations, had gone because presumably people aren't allowed to play out down there anymore. The world has changed so much. That's a shame. Oh, Jeremy's playing music loudly downstairs, probably ruining this video as usual. Yeah, that's a lovely wildlife book to pore over on summer afternoons. And then in the same offer, a recent-ish Shari Lapina. I've read a couple by her. They're good. They're well-constructed thrillers, kind of slightly throwaway maybe, in that you forget about all of it as soon as you've finished it. You forget about the characters, I think. Anyway, that's my haul from yesterday. I will read for the afternoon. I think I'll take a little walk because it's actually dry for once. So I will leave you and say goodbye, and I'll see you again in the next episode next week. I should think sometime. Okay, goodbye.